Hello everybody, today we are checking out Gimme Gimme by Miori Celesta and Hakos Baelz. I believe this is a cover, if I'm not mistaken. And Hakos Baelz I know from hololive. I'm not too certain if Miori Celesta has a particular affiliation to any company, but I know that these two are friends, and I'm excited to see what they've done with this song. I'm not sure if I've heard this song before. I believe this is a cover. Yes, looking down here, it does say that there was an original, but I'm still excited to see what they've done with it. And I must say, I have heard Hakos Baelz sing before, and she has incredible range and power to her voice. So I'm excited to see if we get to see any of that in this song. If not, I'm sure she'll still show off some incredible vocal control. But let's get into the song without further ado. In 3, 2, 1, play. Ooh. Huh. Alright, I'm already gonna pause because I just want to go over how that introduction worked. Because we've got this bouncy, almost like a xylophone, a synth, like a xylophone setting for like a keyboard or synth, and it sounds perfect to match like a heavy bass drop that we see after it, because it's very bouncy, it's very light, it's high in the mix, and then we hear this massive drop to introduce the vocals. Right there, it's bum bum bum, and it cuts off right after that. So it's very segmented. I don't know if I've heard this song before. I don't think I have, but you can already tell it's going to be a pretty segmented song just from the way we get that separation and that introduction, just with a sharp intermittent transition that's very heavy. If it's a very light transition, then sometimes it might be more of a storytelling song or an emotional song, but this is a very much a song that's there to bop your head to. It was made to be catchy, get stuck in your head, you want to keep listening to it, that kind of song. And you can hear when she does that, there's it sounds like at least 2 vocal tracks, if not just maybe very high echo or reverb, and it's got to fade out. So there's definitely some echo there, because you can hear the O repeating after she says it initially. And we've got this excellent dichotomy between Baelz's different it doesn't sound like she's really jumping registers necessarily. It's more so that she's just playing around in a single range that she has. She's not really like pushing into her head voice or going super low, like with her abdomen. It's a comfortable range for her. It doesn't sound strained at all, but she's still showing off that she can go high and low very quickly, even within just a comfortable range for her. This is Miori here, and she's taking the higher pitches in the song. It sounds like, though they don't sound drastically different in the mix. A lot of times when you have multiple people in a cover, you'll have someone trying to take the lows and the highs, or if it's a 3-person cover, you'll have someone going middle tones, low tones, high tones, and maybe they'll switch it up. But this sounds like they're both kind of covering the same tones, at least just from the less than half a minute we've heard of the song. Though she definitely is going higher. That was nice. So we got this higher singing show off from Miori, and then immediately after, Baelz drops low, and she's got this rhythm switch up. And we hear that with, I believe that was some digital horns in the back, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that sounds like either a saxophone loop or a digital saxophone, which it matches it very well. And we've got this nice rhythm switch up with the digital drums. It's a very simple beat, but that simplicity works really well when you've got complex lyricism. Because if we had Baelz talking, well, not talking, but sort of like rapping, and a mix between rapping and singing these lyrics very fast. These are a lot of syllables that she's putting out. If we had that over a very complex instrumentation, then it would be harder to make out what she's saying, or it would be harder to latch on to the lyricism. And that simplicity in the instrumental is working very well to the catchiness of the song. And she's got this. That was a nice demeanor switch up there. And I have to say, their voices mix very well. They actually, when they're both singing towards that middle, that mid-tone, because you can hear Baelz. So far, Baelz has had a tendency to sing at the mid-tone and drop low. Miori has had a tendency to sing at the mid-tone and climb high, which is clearly intentional, because I'm sure both of them could easily cover either part, but when they mix in that mid-tone, it almost sounds like just one person with multiple vocal tracks. It's very well put together. They work together super well. Interesting. Okay. So for this seems like the chorus, and we're getting a lot more instrumentation than I would have expected. We've got this heavy wave synth, and we've raised the drums in the mix, and then now they're singing together. This is a lot. This is a lot more instrumentation focused than I would have expected. But I'm enjoying it very much. I really like how the vocals are working towards the catchiness of the song rather than the song trying to keep up with the vocals. That's something that is more of a responsibility towards the original song, obviously. But when you have a cover and you're recreating that, this is an arrangement, I believe. This isn't the original instrumentation. So having someone who knows how to create that kind of instrumental and someone who knows how to mix that instrumental to the vocals to still keep the catchiness of the song, still keep a flow and a tension when someone listens to it, that's very, very skilled. I have to say, earlier, I mentioned that they were singing together when the instrumental swelled, but listening to that again, and also I believe the lyrics also show us here. I believe that was just Baelz, and then we got a Miori section, and then when they say with a kiss, that's when they're going together. So I have to say, their voices are actually quite similar here, which is quite odd because obviously they have very different voices, and they obviously can sing in very different voices, but it seems like they're intentionally making their voices meld together very well, and they're doing that effortlessly, which is extremely commendable, because I mean, I could not imagine having to adjust your voice and sing in a manner where you sound very alike to someone else, but it still sounds natural, and it still flows with the song as it's supposed to. So massive props to the both of them. I'm really liking this instrumental breakdown, because now we're doing a back and forth between the instrumental, and then instead of earlier in the beginning of the song, we had the vocals segmented by strong instrumental, and now we're having strong instrumentation segmented by vocals for this breakdown here, which is really nice, and it's a nice contrast between earlier parts of the song and where we are now in the song. Ooh. And then, interestingly, there, instead of segmenting the instrumentation with more vocals, now we're going back to segmenting the vocals with instrumentation. And to do that, it's almost more like we segmented the instrumentation and the vocal, the next part of the vocals. And to transition that, we added a different instrumentation with more effect on it. And that's a nice touch. That's a really nice way to just create parts to your song while still letting it flow. And that was really nice. And she's going low again. I love her lower register there. That was nice. I believe that was Miori, but both on the shabidabida, doobie doobie doo. I believe that was all Miori. And so she showed off how she can go high and then really go low. That was nice. And then as she went low, we kept going with that with Baelz lower tone. That was really nice. I mean, if these lyrics are representing who is singing, I'm very surprised because that sounds like Baelz is continuing to sing there, but the lyrics switched to green. I'm not sure if I'm just like not picking up on the transitions between the vocalists, or if maybe the lyric color isn't representing the transition between the vocalists, but that sounds incredible. That's crazy. And I also want to mention there's these intermittent vocal layerings every once in a while, like the yoi yoi. That part, you get that vocal layering to add more to it. So in the entirety of the song, we've got these segmented parts, and then in that segmented part, it's a vocal part, and we're segmenting the vocals with layered vocals, if that makes sense. So we're partitioning each part to add a bounce to it, and we're supporting that bounce with the steady, fluid instrumentation that it's very light and bouncy, but we've also got that like rich saxophone tone, and it's very, very catchy. And that seems like the goal of the song, right? You want to get it stuck in people's heads. You want to get them singing along to it. And it's very nice. That was a lot. That was really nice inflection. Nice. That was really good inflection there. She was adding some twang to how she sang it. She was adding some sassiness. That was very solid. And then we got just this beautiful projection from Baelz. That was wonderful. Let's go back again. Nice. I also want to mention this time, before when we got the heavy instrumentation, like this part, what we had the vocals, what sounded like a little lower in the mix. Now it sounds like the vocals are higher in the mix during this instrumentation, this wave synth coming in. And I feel like that adds a lot of progression to the song. As we're going along, the vocals feel more important. Their voices are getting louder, and I feel like that fits the lyrics as well, because they're getting more adamant, they're getting more strong about their own feelings, and that's reflecting in how they're getting louder in the mix. I really like that. Interesting. So now we've got this faded down effect on the vocals to create this drastic contrast with how we got this really loud, outspoken, and then now it's like, oh, maybe I've said too much, and now we're fading back. That was nice. But we're building back up, and it's getting clearer. Oh, nice. We're going for a gradual a gradual build up here. We got that contrast where maybe I've said too much, I come back down, and then now we've got this faded effect, but it's building up again, and we're getting their voices are becoming more clear. They're becoming more outspoken, and I like that. And there's some really nice, but really subtle backing vocal tracks that are just they're not that high in the mix, but you can hear them following the notes, and it adds so much more intensity to the lyrics than if it was just one vocal track that had been getting louder and louder. Nice. And that nice little vocal flavor here. Nice. Another separation. I want to mention that separation in the instrumental there, where it just cut out and said, yeah, well, sort of like that. Hey, when it cut out like that, I don't think that was to segment the part of the song. That was just to add inflection, to add variation, which is always nice and something you always want to add to keep people engaged into the song. Nice. We're getting, listen to those backing vocals. She's popping off there. She's going super high at her range and just putting in this vocal flavor behind the chorus of the song. Let's go back a little bit. Ooh, listen to that inflection at the very back of the mix. It almost sounds like it's dynamic because it feels like it's in my left ear, but maybe it's just because of the higher pitch. It's going. She's climbing up, and then she adds this vocal wave to it, and then it comes a little bit down and holds it out in the back of the mix. That's beautiful. Ooh, and if you hear that in the very back of the mix, the synth backing, there was a synth backing that picked up where the vocals left off in the back of the mix. Obviously, the chorus and the front of the mix was very nice, but that back of the mix was incredible. Very, very impressive awareness of where you are in the song. Nice. Ooh, a nice contrast with the more projection on the higher voice and then a softer tone on the lower voice. And I just want to mention this throughout the entire song. I have to say the pitch correction on the song has been very well done. Usually when you have pitch correction on vocals, and I'm sure these ladies didn't need the pitch correction at all, it's more so to fit the aesthetic of the song. Usually when you have that pitch correction, it can feel a little awkward, especially if they don't need the pitch correction, though I suppose more so if they do. But it's meshing really well with this song, and I almost feel like the song was, I don't think I've heard the original, but I would assume that the original song probably had strong pitch correction, which is why they're adding it to their vocals. And obviously that fit the instrumentation of the song very well because of these strong wave synths, these digital effects. It's meshing very well. Nice. Nice. So we're referencing the beginning of the song now with a vocal transition to a cutout, and then we're going back to that bouncy xylophone-esque synth keyboard, and it's just bouncing, and then we've got the vocal introduction once more to reference the beginning. All right. That was very impressive. I really like that. That was really nice. I'd love to see more from Miori Celeste. I believe I've seen Baelz's covers, though perhaps she's put out more since the last time I checked her channel. But I was very impressed with this cover. I really like this one. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. And as always, feel free to recommend more below in the comments, and I'll check them out whenever I can. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.